My name is Rachel Salera. I am a media and communication major here with a minor in equine studies. And I am going to graduate in 2016. There's always that one kid in every class that is like horse obsessed and that girl in high school, and I was most definitely that girl in high school. I always was like, well, the one thing I like is like horses and equine studies, and that's kind of why I wanted to go that direction. But when I came here, the program just wasn't what I particularly wanted for my personal needs. So I decided that minoring in equine studies and majoring in media and communications was probably a better option for me. I have my horse off campus. I have gotten to be a working student, so that basically means that you go and groom for a professional, and then you get riding lessons and like housing in exchange for a few big name people. I've gotten to go to Florida, which is where the big horse show circuits are in the winter, which is kind of a big deal. But I've always had horses. My horse now is about 2 miles away from campus. I go and feed him and the other 4 that live there every morning to pay for my board. Basically, I take lessons when I can afford it on my college budget. I grew up in New York State. I've actually lived a lot of different places, but I started riding when we lived in New York. I lived on Clap Hill Road, and at the bottom of the hill was a barn, and we used to drive by it every single day, and I convinced my mom to start teaching me, or signing me up to do riding lessons. I started doing lessons 1 day a week, and then when we moved to New Hampshire, I started riding 2 and 3 days a week, and then we leased a pony, then we bought the pony, and then we bought a saddle and the trailer and a truck and a horse, and now that's kind of how things went.
On the way to good times, been a lot of good people free. Sunshine paved the streets like there's time to go. Music's playing.
Like I said earlier, only took 1 lesson a week, and it started off like on the lunge line, that big long rope they attach to the pony and somebody holds in the middle, just walking and trotting and learning how to steer, and then eventually progressed through that. I've had a lot of setbacks. I've had a lot of hard horses to ride. I've had a lot of falls. I shattered my foot between my junior and senior year getting bucked off, so it's definitely sets you back a few steps even if you've been doing it for a long time. But you just kind of, if you love it, you keep pushing through it. I have 2 horses currently. One is down here and one is in New Hampshire. The one in New Hampshire was my pony growing up. She is 21 now, so she's getting up there in age. I've had her since she was 10. She is 13 2 hands and is a dark bay Welsh pony. My horse that I have here is a Mexican warm blood that we imported when I was 14, I think, from Mexico. He is 13 now, and he's about 16 hands. So at Delaware Valley College, what I do with horses is I am the co-captain of the Huntsy Intercollegiate Equestrian team here on campus. I have been on the team since I was a freshman, and I've been co-captain since I was a sophomore. Last year, I started participating in the western side of the equestrian team here on campus as well. I act as both teams' open riders, which is the highest level for the IHSA on both sides. Western I kind of just fell into as a favor for the team last year. They needed someone to fill a space because we couldn't run the class without 3 people in it. I ended up loving it, and I can't wait to see what is going to happen for Western and Huntsy for me this year in regular season and postseason. So for intercollegiate riding here on campus, every year you, as an open rider, start from 0, and you have to accumulate 28 points to go into postseason. For flat, I went last year to zone, so it goes regular season, regionals, zones, nationals for on the Huntsy side. Went to zones last year, got a ribbon, so I was pretty pleased with that. On the flat this year, getting pretty close to qualifying, and we're only 3 or 4 shows in now, which is exciting.
Let the sunshine in.
On the western side, I miraculously qualified for regionals, and at regionals on both sides you have to be top 2 to go on to either zones for hunt seat or semifinals for western, and I went to semifinals last year. So preparation for horse shows, for intercollegiate horse shows here on campus, is super minimal when we're not hosting the horse show. When we go to a horse show, all you have to bring is your riding clothes, a folding chair, and lunch, and we just go to the horse show and compete. It's very minimal. When you horse show your own horse, the preparation, say you're going to a week-long horse show, you have to bring everything. Water bucket, shavings, hay, grain. That's just for the horse. Everything else you have to bring, the clips to hang the buckets and the zip ties to hang the clips on, and extension cords to run fans and mats to mat your stall, and then just the preparation. I always pack a giant trunk. Everybody usually has a big wooden one with their name on the front of it. They definitely dress it up. Packing and getting all your stuff is definitely a good portion of this, a big affair, especially at the bigger horse shows. So I chose to make equine studies my minor because I learned a very long time ago that I don't want to make my living training horses. If, God forbid, I fall off and hurt myself and can't sit on the horse or stand in the middle of the ring, I have no means to an end, which is a problem. So I chose to be a media and communication major because I would love to be able to do all the online stuff for the horse shows and manage the horse shows and manage their websites and the online programs. The horse show world's coming out with programs, so it'll be a live stream of the big horse shows. The Washington International's live stream just finished the other day, and then a lot of apps for people's phones. It'll say who's in the ring, when you're going, give you an estimated time, the rides for the day, and I would love to be a part of organizing those programs and doing that. So I grew up at the horse show, and I always want to be a part of the horse show, but I know that I don't want to be training the horses. It is definitely a lifestyle. It is a 365-day-a-year job. The horses eat even on Christmas and Thanksgiving and every other time they still need to eat. You still have to be there. So it's definitely, some people choose to do it recreational. I've chosen for it to be a lifestyle and to do it at the level that I do it at.